some of you know him, some of you might not know him, but being part of the village with city council for a number of years, working with different employees through the village with your street department, sanitary, water, fire, police, EMS. You get to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds and everything. So I've known Bruce Silcott here for a number of years. He's been kind of in and out of departments. I worked with him when he was in the private sector and accounting, CFO for a company up in Eden and different places. So we've kind of been friends and known each other for many years. But we were able to get Bruce back. He's a paramedic. With the situation, I'm just be honest, hospital, you know, like today, Bruce said they had to transport to Bryan. So we are making changes, accommodations for our department to run and to, you know, patient care within the community and the townships that we cover, but Bruce will talk more about that. But I won't take up any more time. Please give a warm welcome to Bruce Silcott.
Thank you. Before I get started, my son was here last week, and when he came home, he said, "Dad, do you know this guy by the name of Bryce?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "His forearms have biceps." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I just wanted you to know, Bryce, you made an impression on him.
I said he looked like an EMT.
Yeah. He's actually going to Fort County and he's finishing up, and he'll be. I know he wants to do something, you know, diesel related, but he does want to do the fire and EMS, and it'll be my great honor to hopefully present him at the first council meeting in June. When the mayor asked me if I wanted to speak, I said, "Do I have a choice?" And he's like, "No, not really." So, okay. Voluntold. But as you know, the situation with the hospital is very precarious. We have been on diversion more than we have been able to take people there, which means that we are taking people out of town. Auburn, Fort Wayne, Defiance, Bryan, that's where we're taking people. One of the reasons why I came back full time was because of this situation. You did not have paramedic. You did not have a paramedic here for the longest time. Even when I was running as a volunteer, you didn't have a whole lot of paramedic medications. When I stepped in, I changed all that. I can now run a complete cardiac arrest at your house. God forbid I would have to. I can do that. I can intubate somebody. Things that we can do are much greater than just 6 months ago. A lot of that is because we have kind of become very aggressive in telling council what we need and why we need it. And council, I will be happy to say, has been very receptive. They know with the hospital situation that it is very precarious. And do I think that if the hospital were in this situation that we'd have the same issue, have the same items? I don't know. I would like to think so. So that brings me to the cost. And we all know cost is huge on no matter what we do. We just ordered a new Lucas device. A Lucas device is what provides compressions on somebody having a heart attack. So that way we don't have to. It provides consistent, adequate compressions at a rate that we set. We just ordered a new one. We were given a donation by my former neighbor, and we were able to buy one. That Lucas device is $20,000. The monitor that we have, that I hook up, that we will hook up to you and shock you if needed, and it tells me, it gives me your 12 lead and everything. That 10 years ago, well, more than that, was $45,000. They just come out with a new one, $55,000. Our ambulance, what we like to term 511, it's the white one, you'll see that from time to time. We're having major issues with that. We need a new one. That's gonna be about $200,000 to $250,000. The amount of money that is needed for EMS is astronomical. It's the same way as the fire. Yes, we have just put on a new levy, and I'm not here asking for money, so don't think that. We just put on a new levy, but that levy is nowhere near what we need. We need to hire people. What good is it if we have the best equipment, but nobody to use it? We need more paramedics. We need more advanced. You know, the people that we have, Bob, most of you know Bob. Bob's been doing this for 40 years, and Bob's gonna retire next year. We got Abby Franz, she's studying nursing. She's going to be leaving us probably within a year. Then we have one more full-time, her name is Hannah. Like I told her today, I fully expect her to take my place when I retire. Because as a leader, no matter what you lead, as a leader, you are always training your replacement. Always. It does not matter what business you're in. It is my responsibility to make sure to train that leader, but it's also my responsibility to make sure that we are training every day properly for the things that may come up. We are blessed in the aspect that we do not get a lot of critical calls. I have worked at ProMedica. I have worked at Williams County. And most recently I came from Parkview, DeKalb. And let me tell you, there's some very sick people out there. And that doesn't even include the traumas. In my first 9 months, I had 3 infant cardiac arrests. And people want to say, well, it's easy being an EMT. Come in my shoes. Step in my shoes. I don't wish that on anybody, and I pray I'd never have to see another one as long as I live. I appreciate the fact that you guys have allowed me to come and kind of tell you a little bit about the EMS today. I will say that I think that over the course of the past 4 or 5 months that the EMS and fire and council have actually been getting along, you know, for the most part. Well, sometimes. But it takes, you know, there was a saying, it takes a village. It does. It takes a village to run an EMS. Right now we have 9, or soon to be 9 people. Last year they ran 600 calls with 4 people. And there was probably a good, I won't say a good majority, but I would say that there was probably at least 100 that Sherwood had to come in and take over because we just didn't have the manpower at all. So if you know of anybody that would be interested, we'll put them through school. You know, we're EMTs. Right now, we're always looking for firefighters as well. There's no age limit. So, you know, I will say that I'm 55 years old. I went back and got my paramedic at 50. Okay? You're never too old to achieve something. So if somebody sits there and says, well, I'm too old, no. You're just making an excuse. I'm here to say that, you know, if you have the heart, we will train you. And just want to say, we look up to you guys as the leaders of this village. You guys are the ones driving us forward. You guys know, and I think it's wise for you guys to know what it costs for EMS, for fire. I wholeheartedly invite you at any time to get a hold of the mayor, and I will be happy to walk with you throughout the fire hall and show you what we have, and show you exactly what it does. I have no problems with that. I think it's wise for our leaders, our civic leaders, you guys, to know what it takes to be in EMS. And with that, I thank you for your time.
You got a question, Bruce?
Any questions?
So, a call for your squad, you have two main levels, EMTs and paramedics?
Right now, like the crew that's on right now is a basic crew. Now, if the call that they would have went on, I mean, if I didn't have this, if the call that they would have went on sounded a little bit more intense, I would have went. You know, just to make sure that, you know, it didn't need medications or anything like that. We do have one advanced EMT. There's stuff that he can do that a basic can't do. He plans on doing the paramedic program. The paramedic program itself is $12,000. And you know, that's 18 months. The biggest problem with EMS right now, it's people don't want to give up the time. For basic EMT, it's 150 hours, and then you have continuing education. I just renewed my national registry, which means I've got a little card in my wallet that says I can go to any state, except for like New York. I can go to any state and become an EMT, become a paramedic, and don't have to take a test or anything like that. But that was 80 hours of continuing education that we have to do every 2 years. And the state requires us to do even more every 3. So yeah, it's a major thing, you know, when you become EMS and even fire, the continuing education that the state requires now is astronomical. But long answer to your question, yeah, right now there's basically 2 levels. You're going to get a basic truck, or if I'm on the ambulance, you'll have a paramedic. And yes, I went through that class, and I will never do it again. so yes, sir.
Art, do you have full-time ones over there, or everybody, you blow the whistle and they come running?
No, right now, so Monday through Friday, we have full-time. We have I'm a full-timer, and then we have Abby. She works 4 to midnight. She's a full-timer, and then Bob and Hannah, they're full-time, and they run 8 to 4. That's Monday through Friday. So on weekends and overnights is where we're really like, we sometimes may not have a lot of coverage. So it just depends on who's available. This past weekend, I think we had 5 or 6 calls. Yesterday we had 4 calls. At midnight we had a call. Tonight, I mean, so our call volume has really increased. So, you know, last year, you know, like I said, there was around 600 calls. If this hospital closes, I firmly believe that our run volume is going to go way high. Because people that would walk in normally may not have that option. So they're gonna get one, they're gonna get us. You know, I like to say that we are your insurance policy. We are. You guys pay for your insurance to be there when you need it. When you call 911, we are that insurance policy.
Can you explain to him, Bruce, you know, with our situation, Hicksville's unique, small town, we have a hospital. We could run with basics, and we used to run with volunteers, you know, back in the day, you go back 30 years, and they had like 13 volunteers that would run from home, and that handled our department. They could take them right to the hospital would, you know, either take them to a larger facility, so on and so forth. But over the years, it's like any service organization, any church, any club, you look at our numbers. Those volunteers start getting less and less and less, so we started pushing towards hiring full-time employees. That's still having a hospital here. We were able, because of having a hospital here, we could secure the patient and get them to the hospital within a matter of really minutes. I mean, get to the scene where, you know, you look at a town that doesn't have a hospital and what their EMSs have to do, we have to do that now. So we're changing our demographics, structure, everything to kind of do what some of these other towns are doing. And like for Sherwood, for instance, and Bruce knows a lot of, these guys all know each other, but Sherwood they have 4 paramedics. And Sherwood's is what, 2,000? I'm not sure their population, but
Yeah,
you know, they actually have 4 paramedics that run one squad to cover that community. And they work together. If they're out on a call, Hicksville covers for them and vice versa. So Antwerp, they all help each other within their communities. Because if, you know, Sherwood's in Defiance and they got another call either in Sherwood, you know, they'll come over and help. That patient.
And I will say this, there, you know, for a long time, and we were blessed to have the hospital. We 100% are blessed to have this hospital where it's at. Because as an EMT, I could just get you, do the basic stuff that I needed to do and get you to the hospital, and they would take care of you. Now, the big push, and it's not just from our medical director, but medical directors across the nation are saying, you know, you need to do your job. So if that means I gotta stop and give you an IV, or I gotta stop and give you a breathing treatment, or I gotta give you a nitro, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. I will say, one of my first runs, when I came back full time, was a gentleman who was having a major heart attack. And we were able to get him to the closest appropriate facility, which was Bryan, because they have a cath lab, and the gentleman's still alive. You know, so, you know, we do our jobs.
Any other questions for Bruce?
So how long do you think the paramedic that's in training will take till he can come on board?
Well, he has he's on the advanced side. He's in advanced now, so he's running, but he hasn't even started class, and class is 18 months minimum.
Full time?
Well, that would be going one day a week as required, you know. Through 4 County, you go 1 day a week, and then you have to spend so many hours in the hospital, and then another so many hours in doing right time on a busy squad. For me, I did 250 hours in the ER and another 300 hours of right time, and I did mine at Williams County, because Williams County does have, I mean, they're countywide, so they have the call volume, you know, for us to mandate, or for us to say, yes, you can go up to Williams County and do your right time.
And how many volunteers do we have now? We have 4 full-time?
We have no volunteers.
What? Yeah, I meant the guy, like Derek and Drew, I mean, they get paid hourly, but then they come in from, these are people that have other careers.
Yeah.
But then they'll come in the evenings.
So we have 2 part-timers, and, well, we have 4 part-timers, but 2 have other jobs. And so one works at SDI and the other one works out at Fort Worth Tower, so. Yeah,
We have
it used to be, and I will say this, it used to be, and I was talking with a member last week, there used to be 22 people on the EMS here.
Oh, my.
We've got 8 right now. And honestly, that's the most we've had in probably 10 years. So it's a problem. It's a financial problem that we need to be able to fix by saying, we need to hire you. We need to hire people. The people are out there, we just gotta have the correct wage. So.
And we've been blessed to have local people like Bruce and Bob, and we had John, and Hannah's local, Rebecca's local, we had
Abby.
Rebecca's new.
Yeah.
But they live here in town, so if there's a shift that needs covered, you know, they're here. Now we're starting to have to look at Bryan, Edgerton, Defiance, if they have this background, they're gonna run their shift and go home. They can't cover these extra shifts sometimes when we are short-staffed, so. But you have only so many people you can get back from, what, 3,400 people, so. Yeah. We encourage people to take the class, you know, they're reaching out, the 4 counties got a fire EMS class. We have one, like I said, Bruce's son's doing it, but, yeah, we're taking a look at trying to do up our numbers.
So, thank you again.
All right, thank you, Bruce, appreciate it. Like I said, it's being a role of mayor here the last 4 years, something you stepped into right out of the gate with things happening. We, with all our heart, want the hospital to stay. That's gonna be a huge impact on our community. Things happen, things change, there's nothing that's gonna last forever. But, you know, our hope is that the hospital stays or some type of facility, medical facility stays in operation in Hicksville. But if it doesn't, we have to be ready, and that's what we're doing. So, after that, I will stand, have a good week, and we'll dismiss with the Pledge of Allegiance.